Let's begin with the sandwich story. John Montagu, better known as the 4th Earl of Sandwich, came from a noble family and had a distinguished career in the Royal Navy. He was a friend and a patron of the famous explorer Captain James Cook, who named the 8 islands he discovered as Sandwich Islands to honor his friend. The islands were later renamed Hawaii. Being an incorrigible gambler, John snagged on a piece of cold meat tucked between 2 slices of bread during his long hours of gambling. The idea was to avoid soiling his fingers, using a fork and knife, or leaving his seat to eat a meal, as leaving your seat was considered a bad omen in gambling. Watching him take the shortcut, gamblers in the tavern started ordering their meal same as sandwich. Thus the sandwich was born. Nearly 250 years after its birth, the sandwich has traveled to all corners of the world, mainly in the baggage of the colonizers. Therefore, if you begin with Europe and point eastwards, the sandwich stops at India. Beyond India until China, rice and noodle in various avatars make 3 meals of the day. Vietnamese and Cambodian banh mi has 101 avatars coming in a baguette courtesy France, with a diversity of fillings, mainly beef and pork. Singaporean roti john comes in a French roll and is more a la minute beef and egg sizzler sub than a cold sandwich. Malay popia comes in a crepe wrapper filled with veggies and sometimes seafood and is essentially a burrito or a spring roll. In Japan, sandwich is sando. Like ikebana, origami and shodo, their sandwiches are a piece of art. Wanpaku, katsu and kudamono sandwiches use the western bread for vegetable, chicken and fruit fillings. Onigirazu uses nori to wrap rice and meat fillings in place of bread. They are the real touch-me-not edible art and make a great kitty party option. But only if someone holds a gun to your head, you will attempt making them. They are really patience-trying and intricate. Looking to the north and northwest of India, the country where sandwich lives in its true avatar, beef or pork caught between the slices of bread, is England, and there are scores of variations. Out of the remainder Europe, Spain has adopted sandwich with a passion that speaks volumes. And truly, bocadillo, a sandwich is known in Spain, like banh mi, has countless beef and pork avatars, served in a baguette. Rest of Europe, barring Spain's neighbor, Portugal, has not shown any excitement for this English fad. Italy has panini, prepared by using focaccia bread and meat primarily. Swedish smorgasbord is an open-faced sandwich made with rye bread, which is pretty much a Scandinavian objet d'art now. It's topped with seafood or cold meat cuts and garnished with lavish caviar or truffle. The portions are small, therefore it stands in the column with Spanish tapas, while smabrod, which people mistake for a sandwich, is bread with butter in Danish language. Looking to the west of India is the bread land of the world, from Iranian sangyak, berberi, taftoon and lavash, to the North African and Arabian saj, manakish, markook, khubz, jibab, lakhouch, ashtanur and non. There is a bread in every imaginable avatar. Middle Eastern flatbreads render the Western loaf of bread completely jobless. Only when it reaches Israel it gains employment and redeems its lost identity in kubane and challah, the traditional Jewish breads. Contrary to the popular belief of Muslims being the inherent beef eaters, for close to 1 billion Muslims living in the Middle East and North Africa, The meat of choice is seafood, chicken, and lamb. Only in Gulf countries where Muslims from Pakistan, Bangladesh, and India are domiciled, beef consumption is evident but not dominant. Therefore, the sandwich is filled mostly with chicken and lamb meat, and in some instances, vegetables. Further afield to the west, in America, the sandwich is called burger. It's a beef patty caught between the brioche bun, complemented with greens, relishes, cheeses, sauces, and pickles. It has no popular version or variations. The burger is the ubiquitous snack all over America. Americans, numbering over 300 million, eat about 50 billion burgers every year, generating a revenue of over $150 billion. South America, dominated equally by Spanish and Portuguese influences, eats a diversity of bocadillos, which is beef or pork in a baguette. Australia uses beef and pork for filling the brioche bun or baguette, and New Zealand uses slices of bread, but has no celebrity sandwiches worth writing home about.